Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year! It is officially 2025. We are feeling the high energy, the high vibe, the energy of we are ready to conquer our dreams, go for it, no holding back, and we are so excited. I have never done a solo episode for the Nova Show or Real Estate Records podcast, and I'm just so happy that I was asked by our Stephanie, who's over all of this, to do this. And I thought, well, what a great way to kick off the year with being able to talk to you guys about something that I've been really good at in life, which is becoming a mega manifester. I have been good. I'm going to reword this. I've become and I've learned to be really good at attracting, at becoming a mega manifester, at really being able to call into this physical world what's always been on my mind and my thoughts in that spiritual world. But I realized that it's not by accident. There's a formula, there's a process. And I actually had an event, not title related whatsoever. It was for anybody. Could just hop on and log in and join us for an event that I call Dreams to Reality. And all I talked about was the power of really creating your dreams and how to set goals and how to business plan and have a roadmap to achieve what you want. I am obsessed with this topic. I believe it's sort of like my mission in life to help other people achieve their dreams while I'm also reaching mine. And I love to disrupt the status quo. And this is why I launched this company. This is actually going to be, you guys, my 10th year of starting this business. It's a wild, absolutely insane. I can't believe it. Like, in some ways I can, and then in some ways I'm like, it's been 10 years. This is insanity. But I feel so grateful, so blessed, and I would not change it for the world. I have learned so much. I've had a lot of failures and a lot of wins, a lot of downs, a lot of ups, and everything in between. And it's something that I'm so proud of. But having said all that, there is this formula that really has worked for me. And so I'm excited to share a little bit of it today with you. Because if you are actually committed to the dreams that you want to create in this life, they should really be non-negotiable. You are here because you have a gift. You're here to do something very special and great with your life. And it's very unique to you. So what is that gift? And are you able to share it daily with the world? You hear this often, right? Of people saying, well, the world would just be a better place if everyone was just able to be the best version of themselves and share their gifts with the world. That is what the world needs. And I so much believe in that. On top of, I don't want to die with my gifts still inside. I remember reading a book a few years back, and the very first page I opened it up to, it said that. And it just really got to me because I believe in that so much. Don't die with your gifts still inside. The author was Amber Ray. And it's such a beautiful statement. And I just hope that if you're listening to this today, that you, there's a reason why. And perhaps there's some dreams that you've completely let go of. Perhaps there's some goals that you've completely paused for now because maybe it became too hard. Maybe you were working too hard. Maybe they just weren't coming to you fast enough. But I'm here to tell you to never negotiate your dreams. Never negotiate those big goals that you want because you absolutely deserve them and you can absolutely achieve them. So if you guys are ready, let's get started with some of the formula and the process that I do to make sure that I am creating this life by design, because we are not managers of our lives. We are here to be creators of our lives. So how do we design this beautiful world around us and take responsibility for everything that's happening? So the very first thing, I learned this a while back, where I felt myself just running the rat race, setting a higher goal, achieving it, going and buying some sort of material thing. And I kept doing that for a few years until I realized, wow, this feels very empty and unfulfilling. So I'm not interested in that anymore. And so living a fulfilled life and a life of service has really become a priority for me in everything that I do. So just so you guys know, I am obsessed with our clients, which are real estate agents and lenders. And my consistent question is, how can I create something where it's going to bring you major value that nobody else has thought of before? And because I live in that creative space, I've come up with some really beautiful and fun things that really do make a difference in this industry that people end up adopting. And it's actually really amazing that what I set myself out to do, which was to disrupt this industry, has actually been happening. So the very first thing that I do when it comes to goal setting and really not negotiating my dream life is that I reflect on the past year. Because you can't just run for the next goal, achieve, and then what's next? And then you ask yourself, what's next? What's next? You must celebrate life. You must enjoy life. You must reflect on those good moments, those precious moments. And some of those moments are completely invaluable. And they're not repeated, right? That's what people talk about. That it's the present moment is such a gift. And I really do believe that. So reflecting. What did you achieve last year? What were some of the fun things that you were able to experience? What trips did you take? What type of environments were you in? What experiences did you have with your loved ones, your families, your friends, your coworkers? Celebrating life. It's very important. Also, looking back and reflecting on what perhaps wasn't achieved. What's a goal that you no longer want? What's a goal that you continue to want? Really paying attention to the behaviors and the activities that you were doing last year is really, really crucial in this. So then I go on to the next step, and that is, what can I let go of, right? Because a lot of times I feel that people don't quite connect to their goal fully, and this is a reason why they don't achieve it, because they are doing it for someone else or for the wrong reason. And so what do I no longer want to have in my life? Perhaps it's a goal in itself. It's very rare I change goals. But if it's not belonging to me and if it's not true to me, I definitely let it go. But also this exercise is very powerful, because what can you let go of that is no longer serving you in that dream life you want to create, in that life by design that you want to have? So perhaps it's some relationships. Perhaps it's some really bad behaviors or bad habits. Perhaps it's sugar. Perhaps it's letting go of so much social media and scrolling. Perhaps it's letting go of not believing in yourself, right? So there's all of this of, what should I let go of? And then what do I replace that with that is a positive trajectory for the outcome that I want to create? And so what do I want to keep? What do I want to do more of? I want to exercise more. I want to eat healthier more. I want to surround myself with these type of people even more. I want to inspire even more. What do you want to do more of? And then you really start thinking about your values, right? So this is another section that I really pay attention to. And I feel and believe that people really do not understand how much values run your life. Your values run you. No doubt about it. And if you're ever wondering, well, what are some of my values? Perhaps I know that I have these certain ones, but I'm not sure what my values necessarily are. I have a very simple exercise for you. It's really fantastic. So you take out a piece of paper right now, if you can, if you're not driving, and I want you to write down 3 people that you highly look up to. 3 people that in life you would consider as a hero. They don't have to be alive. You don't necessarily have to know them personally. You really can choose anybody. So choose these 3 people that you highly look up to. And then I want you to, next to their name, write out all of the reasons of why you look up to them. Do that And then when you go back and read through all three of the descriptions of why you believe these people are so exceptional, circle the similarities. And that, my friends, will show you what you value in life. So your values run everything. And we know that people love to surround themselves with people who are like them, right? We hear about this all the time in business. You want to work with people that you trust and that are like you. And so there's so much truth to that. We know this, right? We hear it often. But why is this? What's the actual underlying reason? It's because the values are in alignment. If you think about it, why do you purchase the products that you purchase? Because there's a connected emotion, there's a similar value. And the only time people will override their values and violate their values is because they want to meet a need. And we're going to talk about needs in a little bit, but it's very important to understand this because we want to create a life that is true from the core and as healthy as possible for the things that we're wanting. If you're just wanting things because you don't understand the reason behind them, you're going to have a really hard time to really find that fulfillment that you're trying to get. Because guys, mark my words, and if there's anything that you can get out of this episode is you're not seeking some sort of material thing. You're not necessarily really wanting the house and the car and the clothes and the brands. What you're seeking is the emotion of what you believe that these items and things will bring to you. So you're not seeking the item, you're seeking an emotion you believe you're going to receive once you get the thing. And once you know that and you really understand that, material things become a lot more fun. But there comes this point of detachment, at least I experienced this, of I'm detaching myself from materialistic things. Although I enjoy them, I like them, I buy them, I love them, right? I love to experience this in my human body and my human journey. But also there's this detachment from it because I know that what I'm seeking is this emotion that I already have within me. And so how can I create more of that? And how can I make sure that I'm living a life with fulfillment and joy and contribution rather than a life of that I'm chasing something? So another question that I really ask myself when I'm business planning or goal setting is, what's been an unhealthy pattern that I've continued to implement in my life that I definitely need to change? Guys, I love sugar. I have loved candy since I was a kid. My dad tells me that my nutrients as a child were sugar, like candy, sugar, cereal. When I was in high school, I lived off cereal. I would come home and that was my dinner, everybody. Like super nutritious, right? I would come home and chug a gallon of milk and it was whole milk. And I thought it was nutritious, right? And I also thought that it included vitamin D. So of course this was super healthy for me. We live and we learn, right? But my point is, what has been an unhealthy pattern that I know is way out of alignment with that dream life that I want to create? I understand now that I've studied more about health and wellness and vitality, how important it is for me to prioritize this in my life. So perhaps sugar is no longer something that I can eat as much as I chose to eat in the past because I want to take care of myself, because I understand that if I'm not well, nothing else around me is well. My company, my business won't run. Like there's so many people that are relying on me and I'm responsible for so much. I can't not be well. I have to feel great. I have to be on my A game and I want to be that best version of me. So what has been an unhealthy pattern that I know I need to cut? And it could be from as simple as cutting sugar to as big as, wow, I'm in on a very unhealthy relationship with a friend, with a family member, with a significant other. And love yourself. You know, like you've got to learn to love yourself. So what unhealthy pattern can you cut out of your life? This is where it gets tricky. When you cut the pattern, when you cut the behavior, you have to replace it with something healthy. Why? Because whether you want to believe it or not, or whether you want to agree with it or not, whatever pattern and behavior you have been obsessed by and continue to do, although it might be unhealthy, you continue to do it because one, it's familiar to you, but two, it's meeting a need. So what need is this bad pattern or behavior meeting for you? And this is the opportunity to replace that need to be met by something that's healthy. So really think on that. And also, when you're setting your goals, guys, you have to ask yourself the question, what need is this meeting? If I get to achieve this, there is a need that this goal is meeting, and why is that important to you? If you pay attention to the goals you've set for yourself in all of the areas of life, and I do this because I do know and believe it's a holistic thing. This is what I teach my team all the time. When we get together and we're at business planning, goal setting, we're going over all of this in detail and in depth, because everything does come to play and is in alignment. And if something's off in one area of your life, of course, the other areas are going to be affected. So what's your goal when it comes to health and vitality? What's your goal when it comes to relationships? What's your goal when it comes to your lifestyle? What's your goal when it comes to your finances, your work, your business, right? There are so many different areas, your spirituality. So take a look at the goals that you have set for yourself in each area of life. And the very important question you must ask yourself is, what need is this specific goal going to meet for me? And I'm going to share with you guys the 6 human needs next. But if it's most of your goals are meeting the need of significance and certainty, you're going to live a very unfulfilled and unhappy life. Just keep that in mind. Now, I'm going to share all the 6 human needs. Are you ready? I got this from Tony Robbins. If you guys know me, you guys know I'm a nerd, mega nerd. I love reading. I love studying. I love research. And I love learning from masters. Tony Robbins has been a huge mentor for me in my life. And I've learned so much from him. He has literally transformed my life. So 6 human needs. The very first one is love and connection. Another one is significance. Another is variety. So uncertainty. Another one is certainty. Another is growth. And then the last is contribution. So there are 6. I'm going to make sure I name them all. So love and connection, significance, variety, contribution, certainty, growth. So like I mentioned, if your top 2 needs that you're seeking consistently are to meet the need of significance and certainty, you're living a very unfulfilled life. But if your main 2 needs that you're consistently trying to meet are contribution and growth, that is spiritual growth. That is what fulfills your soul. So pay attention to that. Something that probably 99.9% of people will never talk about, but I sure want to, and I sure do. What are some of your fears? We all have fears, guys. You cannot get into this human experience in life without having all the emotions available to you, including the high-level emotions and also including the low-level emotions and low vibrational emotions, which include fear, shame, shame that feels like the worst, sadness, depression, right? So fear is a part of being a human being. The biggest difference between people who succeed at very high levels and people who do not is that they're just willing to be brave and go through the fear anyway and regardless. So what are some of your fears and how can you destroy them, or not even destroy, but destroy the mindset around them so that you're brave enough and have the courage to never negotiate your dreams. Why would you lose your dreams? Why would you negotiate the life that you're here to have, that you deserve to have simply because you were born and you have a heartbeat? Don't ever negotiate your dreams. A lot of people have an internal conflict with success, what that looks like, and everyone has a different definition of what that means to them, right? You hear this often. But for the most part, I feel like most people view success based on the outcome of finances, right? Like, oh, how much money you have, which I believe, like, why aren't we measuring success more on how happy someone is or how fulfilled they are or how their relationships are thriving? But maybe one day society will shift those priorities. But having said all of this, a lot of people do have this internal conflict of succeeding and wanting to become millionaires and wanting to reach high levels of money and success because they have a blueprint. They have a story of how they grew up that does not match their belief system about what they want as an adult. So I'll give you an example. I have a good friend who one day we were at coffee catching up. This was a few years back. And she said to me, Nuria, I want to become a millionaire. And I was like, hell yes, girl. You need to become a millionaire because why not? And you should, and we all should. And then I started asking her some questions. I actually have a whole workshop that I have that's called Money Mind, where we dig so deep into this blueprint that you have to unblock your subconscious mind so you can understand why you're choosing not to make as much money as you should be. Okay, it unblocks you, it opens you up because the first thing to change is awareness. So I started asking her some questions, and within that coffee, we realized that she wanted to become a millionaire, but internally, and her blueprint and story growing up was that rich people were a bunch of, and I won't repeat that, the bleep, but pretty much it was rich people suck. Like rich people are snobs. And that was the narrative around the household, right? Rich people are just a bunch of snobs, and I don't want to participate in that. So think about this, you guys. What is your fear about succeeding? What's your fear around making even more money? Because if whatever story you're telling yourself about the belief system that you grew up with, and internally that's true and you actually believe it, it's an internal conflict. And then whenever you get out to a certain point, you'll self-sabotage because those aren't matching. It's like we've had so many aha and breakthrough moments at this event. It's fascinating of what people become aware to so they can actually make a difference and a change in that. So what is your fear? What is your story and belief around success, around money, around creating something exceptional and living a really big life? What's your story? Something that I always advise people on is, let me back up. People make decisions based on two reasons. Either it's to avoid pain or to gain pleasure. And out of those two, guess which of the two usually people go with? Yes, they will avoid pain way more than gain pleasure. So I see this happen all the time, and I wish so much that I could just get into their mind for a minute and have them realize how temporary this pain is. I see people negotiating their dreams all of the time because they're not willing to feel any pain. They will avoid it at all costs, even if it's just 1 week of uncomfort and pain. And it makes me sad, you guys, because I'm like, you're not seeing the big picture. You are willing to take a small, temporary, shiny toy to avoid a week's worth of pain, and you're willing to negotiate that dream life. It's fascinating, and it makes me sad. It makes me sad because I wish so much that you would see and people would see what's on the other side of that fear and that uncomfort. Fear is tricky too. Like it's always way worse in our head, right? Oh, this is going to be a tremendous disaster, a tornado, a chaos. And then we take the jump, the leap of faith, and it's never as bad as we thought it would be. pay attention to what you want to create in this life. What do you want to create in 3 years? What does your perfect day in the life of you look like? Look outward, look towards the future and call it in. What do you want 3 years from now? And reverse engineer that. And you'll always have options. This is a great tool to use in any type of decision that you're wanting to make and any goal that you're setting, so that you're consistently in alignment with that dream life that you want to live, in that life by design. So reverse engineer and really pay attention to what decisions you're making if you're trying to just avoid very temporary pain. But then what's the gain and what are you really sacrificing? Because short-term pain's inevitable. Like, pain is a part of life, guys. Uncomfort is a part of life. I love being uncomfortable because I know I'm stretching myself. I know my threshold is growing. Be brave, you guys. Be brave. Have the courage to take the leap of faith into your dreams, into those goals. And you must take action, and you have to change the patterns and the behaviors, the daily routines that you've been doing. Because I'm telling you, if what you were doing in 2024, you're going to bring on to 2025 and doing all of those same daily activities, you're setting yourself up to either fail or have a very similar year than what you had last year. And why would you want to live like in a mediocre way? So plug your non-negotiable goals into your daily schedule, and it has to be on your calendar. This is the piece where people just completely miss. You forget that you have to plug this into your schedule, or else how are you measuring this? That's how you turn dreams into reality. It's in the daily activities. It's in the daily routine, in the daily decisions and choices you're making that help you get to that big goal. It's a compound effect. For those of you who've read that book, it's excellent. So what daily routines are you going to be doing? What are you going to be plugging into your schedule daily to make sure you're crushing your goals? If you want to close 100 homes this year, how many do you need to close per month? How many appointments do you have to go to? What's your conversion rate? I am a nerd about numbers. I love numbers. I used to be terrible at math growing up. I had to have a tutor in college because I hated math so bad. Now I understand that that's my roadmap. That is my compass in business, and I am obsessed. I measure everything. So know your numbers. Know what you need to do on a daily basis. And when you take that huge goal of closing 100 transactions a year, you break it down this way by monthly, weekly, and daily activities, you come to realize that it's not that hard after all. It's like, oh, I only need to go on 1 or 2 appointments a day? That's not that hard. People get so overwhelmed by their goals that they don't even know where to start or where to start. And I'm showing you guys the formula of how it works so you can actually make it happen. Same thing with your health. You want to work out, you want to lose weight, you want to lose fat, you want to eat less sugar, you want to eat better and cleaner. How are you breaking that down? And what are your daily activities and what's on your schedule? You want to have a better relationship? Is that plugged into your schedule? You want to be a better parent? Is that plugged into your schedule? You have to, because it's a daily reminder and accountability, you guys. So I know I've shared quite a bit, and I could literally talk about this all day. But remember that you are worthy of having that dream life. You are so worthy of being able to make the amounts of money that you want to make. You are worth it. You are worthy simply because you were born. So stop negotiating your dreams. Go live your dream life. And let's have an amazing, an incredible, a big 2025. I will see you in my office closing deals with Novation Title because we're here to fully support your dreams. And P.S., we actually have a way to help you get referrals at the closing table. If you're not working with us, make sure you do so. Thanks, everybody. Have a beautiful day and an incredible year. We'll see you soon. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Please rate us, like us, and share this podcast with our real estate community. The Nova Show Real Estate Record, sharing raw stories of real estate, failures, lessons, wins, and successes. This is all from Novation Title, bringing a different experience into your world so that we can all uplift each other. Until next time.